All right, so welcome back. In today's video, I want to talk about form submission. Of course, when the user enters their information, they want to submit that information to some particular file, which we call a form handler. Of course, you have to specify that particular file as a developer. And so how do they submit this particular form? Of course, they have to press a button. And so over here, we're going to put our button. And so before I even do that, let's go back to our website. I cleared everything and we have two input fields. We have one for the name and one for the password. And so these are the two, and their labels as well. And so we're going to handle what we call form submissions. The way we handle the form submission is we use what we call input type submit. And so I'm going to create another input element of type submit with a value of submit. Right, so obviously this is the value that you see written on that particular button. It's a button, by the way. So if I save this and go back, and you see I have a button up here, it says submit. Okay, and so if I'm to enter my name and my password and then press submit, you can see, guys, it refreshes the page and clears these two fields. Right, this is the default behavior of this particular button. It's a button, by the way. We could, create a similar button. I'm going to comment this out by using a button, a real button. So we can use a button element, button. But of course, I want this to be of type submit. And so it's going to have an attribute of type submit. And so I can say submit here. It's going to behave the same. And if I save this and go back, you won't see any difference up here because it's the same. And so if I am to do the same, Satson, and then enter my password and then submit this, it's going to behave the same. Refresh the page, submit the information, and that's it. Now, the big question now is, of course, we are submitting this information, but where are we submitting this information? Well, we should specify that we need to submit this information to this particular file. Of course, we have to mention it on this particular attribute, the action attribute. That's where it comes in. And so on the action attribute, I could specify that I want this to be submitted to a file which is called index.php. So this index.php is what we call a form handler. So it's going to be responsible for handling this particular form. Well, where do we keep this particular file? We keep it on the back end, on the server side. Okay, so this language PHP is the language that we use on the server side. And so it's going to check whether you have submitted the correct information, and then it's going to do what we call comparison with the information in the database, and it's going to perform the next action depending on what you have instructed it to do. All right, so basically we now have a complete form. A form with an action where we're going to submit this information, a form with the input fields, and then with a button to submit that particular information. And so, but for now, it's not going to do anything. We have not created this particular file over here. We haven't. All right, so I think for today we're done. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I want to thank you for your time. Remember to subscribe, to like the video. See you in our next video. For now, I'm out. Bye-bye.